And today I'm going to be reviewing the 2014 Seasonal Visions Life-Size Untimely Death. Now, as I stated, this prop came out in 2014. It was a Spirit Halloween exclusive made by Seasonal Visions. This was the first year that Seasonal Visions was starting to get actually, good, as opposed to the dog shit quality that they were previously. I cite things like 2013 Wacky Mole, for example, who was just a colossal piece of shit when it came to build. Honky, my boy, my beloved, as much as I love him, he's not built very well. But anyway, this was the first year they started to get good, and Untimely Death was an example of that. Now, she was in the Ruins theme. She was in the front of the store. She was pretty much the first thing you'd see. I'll probably put a picture up of what it looked like back then. Right now, I believe Cornstalker was near that area as well. She was like on the stone steps, which was, obviously pretty fitting. She was, I believe, $200. Yeah, $200. And like, they could have pressed her a little bit lower, but honestly, I don't really mind. I don't know. If I like a prop, I don't really mind paying a bit for it. I don't know. That might just be me. And I coincidentally also got her for $200. I got her from my boy Jovenir Haunts for $200, and then the shipping costs, which is really fucking good. She's pretty hard to come by now and pretty sought after to a degree. She was only sold for that 1 year. I think she might have been online in 2015, but like barely. She didn't sell great per se. She didn't like flop, I guess, but she didn't really sell terribly fantastic. But anyway, yeah, so that's why she's like a little more hard to come by at this point. She's built pretty well since 2014 Seasonal Visions. They were starting to get better, but she does have her fair bit of jank. Her speaker box is a lot smaller, and the speaker is still pretty shitty quality. It's about as good quality as Honky's, except Untimely actually has a volume dial, which if you turn it all the way up, it kind of obliterates the speaker. It does not sound very good. And this was the first year that Seasonal Vision started doing these, infrared sensors. Hers is right there on the front of the urn, which I think is a pretty good place for it. Her sensor is really good. So, yeah, she's got one of the best sensors out of any prop that I own. It's probably like her, Henry, and then probably Bloody Bag of Jokes. Maybe Wally too, I don't know. But regardless, her sensor's really good. And yeah, she runs on a 6-volt 2-amp adapter. Or I think actually, no, it's like a 5.9 volt. It's one of those weird SVI adapters that's like specifically 5.9 volt for some reason. And she has two movements. She has two movements. Her mouth moves, which her mouth movement is really great. It's like really realistic, especially from afar. I love the way it moves. And then her head tilts down. The urn lights up, and there's a face in it, and that starts talking as well. And it's like a really cool effect. I really like the urn. And yeah, she is not terribly short. She's definitely on the taller end of like female props. A lot of them are for some reason really short, although not really at this point actually. Like mainly, I don't know, back in the day, a lot of like women props were just really short. Good example being the Black Widow Witch the next year, which is a prop I adore, but oh my god, she's so tiny, why? But Untimely is not that short. I would say I've got like a good inch on her, which means she's like an inch shorter than Wacky. But anyway, she has one pole like that holds her up entirely, which kind of makes me nervous, but I guess I can understand why. She doesn't move around a terrible amount. Like, I mean, obviously, she's just got the two movements, and they're not too vigorous, really. But it still kind of makes me nervous that she only has one support pole. But I don't know, for her, she's fairly light, so it's serviceable. The heaviest thing on her is the urn, and even then, that's not really particularly heavy at all. But yeah, her face, I believe, is made of vinyl, which, like, feeling that compared to the standard SVI latex, I am really glad that they continue to use the actual latex, because oh my god, her face, the material feels so cheap on it, and I don't like it. Like, if you go up close, it could easily be mistaken for styrofoam. It's not great, but whatever, it's fine. It's serviceable for her since her face isn't really painted at all. Everything's just kind of gray, because, you know, statue. Oh yeah, mine was broken when I got her. Her head did not tilt up and down, like, at all, and it was a split gear. It was a split 8-tooth gear, which is apparently a pretty common problem on her, so be wary if you end up trying to find one of these. It's a pretty common issue that that the neck will be broken. It's not under like a terrible amount of pressure, but it's under enough to the point where it will, you know, split over time. But it's not a very terrible fix at all. It's actually fairly easy. So yeah, she has 2 phrases also. One of them is significantly longer than the other. I kind of wish she had a little bit more phrases, but it doesn't really irk me that much. I mean, like, Face Ripper, I love him, and he only has 2 phrases. So, like, I don't know. I don't really mind. But anyway, also, there's her box. This is the, like, 2nd review thus far, where I've actually brought out the props box. Yeah, this is the last year that they were using the slimy green font. Her box is surprisingly tiny. Like, you can sort of see it compared to Beheaded Bride there. It is, like, really small. I mean, she's a fairly small prop, but it's kind of impressive how small her box is, to be honest. But anyway, it says Untimely Death. Animated talking statue with moving mouth stands over 5 feet tall. Haunted urn lights up, casting a ghostly glow. 2 otherworldly sayings. Steady on IR or foot pad activation. IR sensor has a range of up to 6 feet. That is not true. I can be on, I'm not joking, the other side of the room, and she will activate. Her sensor is very good. But, I mean, that's a good thing. So, anyway, I'll get to activating her now. I have her hooked up to a step pad, so I'll have to probably turn up her volume as well. I might just turn her on IR, actually. Yeah, you can probably hear it, but when the scream happens at the end of our soundtrack, the speaker kind of crackles like a bit. That's just because of how bad it is. It's not great.
The sun is darkened and the moon will not shine. So I will protect you from the dark guardian that will eat your flesh at first sight. You cannot hide from me.
For some reason, the way she resets really creeps me out. The fact that she just kind of very silently, like, tilts her head back up to look at you. I don't know, that fucking creeps me out, dude. This prop is fucking so creepy. Like, actually, it's really well done. It's very well executed, in my opinion. I really love her. She's obviously not outright terrifying, but, like, she's just really creepy. I'll go up a little bit closer to give a better view of her, like, mouth. And you could sort of see, as I had mentioned, how it's, like, pretty realistic in the movement.
I see the light in your eyes. Come closer so I can see all of you. Yes.
Oh, that's a cool ass shot. Goddamn. Gotta take a few pictures of that. Anyway, but yeah.
The sun is darkened and the moon will not shine. So I will protect you from the dark guardian that will eat your flesh at first sight. You cannot hide from me.
Well, that's about it to her. I fucking love this prop so goddamn much. I am so glad to finally have one. She, as I had mentioned, she's sort of hard to find. She's hard to find in the sense where she's not the rarest thing ever made, but when you do find her, she tends to be pretty damn expensive. So just be prepared to have to kind of find one for cheaper. But yeah, that's really about it. All there is to her. Definitely get her if you can. She's fantastic, at least in my opinion. She's a very niche prop. Like, not a lot of people are avid lovers of her, but I really do. But, well, anyway, I've rambled long enough. Bye.